when we make money, we tend to buy a bunch of stuff for our business that we really don't need. All right. Like when you are budgeting and you're running low on money, you make do with the groceries you have. So why would you not do that when you have lots of money? Make do with what you have. You've got a system in place that's obviously working. You don't need the extra stuff.
Welcome to the Never Been Promoted podcast and YouTube channel. I'm on a mission to help you cut the tie to all the things that are holding you back so you can unleash your entrepreneur. Let's meet our guest. Shannon, why don't you go ahead and say hello, but also tell us a little about yourself.
My name is Shannon Kuykendall, and I am the founder of LinkedIn. Fun fact about me, I visited 22 countries in 24 months between 2017 and 2019. I am a LinkedIn expert, and I help my clients create content that stands out on LinkedIn, as well as help them generate leads through a system of sending messages. I also teach them how to write proper messages so that they don't spam people in the DM.
Thank you so much for joining. In your own journey, maybe set up how you got to founding your company. Like, what were the triggers? Maybe what was the, go F it moment in your life? What were the moments that got you to become an entrepreneur?
So I always knew, I've always known from a very young age that I wanted to do something on my own, but I didn't have the words. I didn't know what that was. And so it was the last job I ever had. I was the sales assistant to a sales team that would sell dental software for new teeth. I hated the job. I hated my manager. It was below me because I am a very technical person. I build websites. I'm a network administrator. That's what I went to school for. And I took a job that was less than what I deserved simply because I wanted to work in the same city that I lived. So I allowed myself to get fired after a year. I filed for unemployment like everybody else and figured out what I was going to do next. A gentleman found me, because you have to look for work when you're on unemployment. A gentleman found me, said, "Hey, I've got this gig. I'd like you to do it, but you're going to have to be in Beaverton." And I was like, "I don't want to commute." He said, "You only need to be in Beaverton for a week." And Beaverton's about a 30-minute drive from me. So to commute that, it would be an hour. But anyway, so he said, "You could work from home the rest of the time." And I was like, wow, that's fantastic. So I did that for about 6 months, but it was only about 15 hours a week and I needed more. And so I built my own website, went on a place called Upwork and Guru, and got my first clients. And then that is how my virtual assistant business was born in 2005. I'm
just going to ask it more broadly. What do you mean by that?
That I allowed myself to get fired. So I started actively looking for a new job in the town that I lived in. And I had a job interview one morning. And so I called my boss and I said, "Hey, I'm not coming in. I'm going to a job interview." And the next day I came in, which was really kind of cool because it turned out they fired my manager, who was a total sorry, hopefully I can say that on here, and then fired me the next day when I came in.
That's not the best path possibly for some people, but that's allowing yourself to be fired in a way but you better be committed to what you're going to do.
Absolutely. I don't think that's a bad way. It probably took another 10 years to figure out that I needed to stop trading time for money.
As you were doing this, what's like the biggest aha moment you had?
The biggest aha, once I really got into it and I was starting to be hired by other marketers, because it was really the only skill that I felt like I had when I got into it was that I was technical, that I could learn technical things really quickly and build stuff out. So I was thrown into a one shopping cart CRM at that time and had to completely figure it out. And a lot of times I was like, yeah, I know how to do that, because that was the only way I was going to learn. So I got a lot of on the job training during those first 10 years. And then realizing that how I wanted to niche it and, realizing that I wanted to go after more people who were doing internet marketing. Because at that time, if you remember back in the early 2000s, the sales pages, we didn't have a lot of drag and drop options. So you had to completely build that stuff using HTML and CSS. I was the girl that was getting hired for that because I could build it out and I was really meticulous and my code was really clean. So I think the biggest moment was just realizing, okay, these are the people that I can actually target and build my business around.
I want you to describe the moment, the first time someone gave you money for your idea.
Okay, so it was right around, it's the end of 2005. It is right after Christmas, before New Year's. I had just finished building my website. I put myself up on Guru, and I get an email within 24 hours from a gentleman named Roddy Ferguson, who placed 10th in the 2004 Olympics for jiu-jitsu. And he had turned his trainings into CDs, and we were building sales page after sales page, selling the different CDs for his course. And I just remember him calling me, and he was just really straightforward. He's like, yeah, I like what you have to say. I'm going to give you $1,000 a month. I want you to start tomorrow. And I'm thinking, tomorrow is New Year's Day. Because I'm thinking, I'm going to go party tonight. So I went out and celebrated. Thankfully, I didn't have to work on New Year's Day, but that was it. I had something to party about. I was so excited. And that was the realization of oh my God, I can do this. I'm going to make this happen. And I worked with him for 3 years. He referred several clients to me during that time. So the first 3 years of my business were really great.
What is it you would give them something to do as they're building their business?
The first thing would be is to optimize your LinkedIn profile. And that's kind of a given. Everybody, for the most part, I see a lot of people preach that, they know that. But what I say differently than other people, because other people say brag, I say you're not looking for a job, you're looking for clients, which means your profile, both your personal and your company page, need to be a representation of your website, all right, or a sales page. The only difference is don't use your logo on your personal page. People want to see your face. Don't have any people in it. It should just be you. But yeah, make your profile an extension of your website.
I'd like to really talk about what you're doing. You were at time zero when you started a few years ago. You're at time zero now for the future. What are you doing now to better prepare you as an entrepreneur?
Adding more ways to generate income. So having multiple channels. So I turned my service into a course that includes coaching for up to a year, to basically that way, if LinkedIn makes changes, which they will, because we all know they do, and you have to learn how to pivot with that. So I want to be able to support the people that sign up for my course and actually learn how to build out the system that I've created. I want to be able to support them through those changes.
That's very smart. And as a marketer, I have to guess, you do realize it's I don't call it a rat race, but at some point the value is better if you can teach people to do it than do it for them.
Absolutely. I can help more people by teaching them how to do it and do it properly, because a huge piece of that is that outreach message. If you send them a message and it's 5 paragraphs long and you're telling them your life story,
6 links,
which you should not do because nobody cares. So that's my big thing, is I want to teach people how to properly write engaging. How do you start a conversation with somebody? I don't know. I ask them a question. That seems pretty simple.
What's a must-read business book for an entrepreneur?
Profit First. Mike Michalowicz, game changer. Someone turned it on to me during the pandemic, and it completely changed the financial situation I was in during the pandemic. So highly recommend it. If you are on the roller coaster of feast or famine, read this book. It will change everything.
What do you think is a key takeaway in that does it? What was the aha moment for you on that one?
Just taking a little bit of money and putting it aside. That was one. Start with 1%, 2%. I'm at a 10%. I pull 10% and I put it away. Then the other one was the eye opener was, when we make money, we tend to buy a bunch of stuff for our business that we really don't need. All right. When you are budgeting and you're running low on money, you make do with the groceries you have. So why would you not do that when you have lots of money? Make do with what you have. You've got a system in place that's obviously working. You don't need the extra stuff.